casting is not supported. And for that, we have to go for explicit conversion or programmatic conversion. And that is where we used as instance of function. If you remember yesterday, we have done some small programs there. Okay. So now today, let us see few things on this type conversion. I told you, right, there is a small discussion. So then we will quickly close this topic and switch to the next topic, control statements. So here, when you look at it, the data types I told you, the sizes. When you look at the sizes, the byte is 1 byte, int short is 2 bytes, int is 4 bytes, long is 8 bytes. In this way, the sizes are different from data type to data type, and float is 4 bytes, double is 8 bytes, and as well as boolean doesn't comes into this. It doesn't fit into this data type this thing, because boolean is something which is exclusively used to declare true and false. Now this char or integer data types or decimal data types, all this comes under numeric data types. Because I told you, you can ask me a question. Character is something used to declare characters, right, sir? How can you tell that they are numbers? Because at program level, it might be a character, but at memory level, every character is an integer. That's why the range of character is in integers. It's 0 to 65,000, okay, 35 or something. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let us quickly understand the hierarchy of data types here. See, it looks like this. The promotion can be, default promotion can be like this. We can promote char. We have a char. Okay. Char can be promoted to it can be promoted to int. Okay, and then int can be promoted to otherwise I'll take it like this. Okay, we can promote byte to short. Okay, short to int. Even we can also promote char to int. Here even char. Char. What we can do here can be promoted to, well, there is a char here, char class. Even that can be promoted to int. And from there again it keeps going. Okay, then it can be promoted to long. Long can be promoted to float. Float can be promoted to double. That's all. This is the possible conversion hierarchy. As I told you somewhere yesterday, in Scala we can promote lower level data types to higher level and higher level to lower level. There is a quick tip to remember. Smaller data types can be promoted to bigger or larger data types and larger to small. That is fine. That is, that is a quick point to remember. You want to remember quickly, that will help you. Okay. And if you look at this, byte is, that is fine. Byte is smaller than short. Short is smaller than int is smaller than long. But if you look at this two, this is the only time you have to be observing carefully. This is the only situation. Long is, as per size, long is 8 bytes. When you look at the sizes, this is the only point where you have to be careful. Initially, I didn't used to remember this. Okay, I used to think I used to keep like this, float to long, float to long. It is wrong, and long to double. This is how I used to think the hierarchy. Initially, in the beginning, very beginning, like almost 10 years back, or 2 years back, decade back. But this is illegal. This is not correct. In Java and Scala or in C# even, even though the size of long is bigger than float, decimal data types are treated as higher level data types, including float. Even though the size of float is smaller, still, what is that? Even though the size is smaller than long, still float is considered as a higher level data. That's why we have like this. How the hierarchy is, we have long comes first and then float comes. Understood? This is possible conversion tree. Means we can promote always to this arrow mark in the arrow mark direction, but reverse is not possible automatically. Okay, we can promote it in the this direction, this okay, but the reverse direction is not possible. For that, we have to go for explicit conversion. Even char can be promoted to int. It cannot be promoted to short, but char can be promoted to int, or char can be promoted to long or float or double. It's possible. Like right? Is it clear? So this is possible conversion hierarchy. You have to remember this. Means a byte can be promoted to short, a short can be promoted to int, and int can be promoted to long. Long can be promoted to float, and float can be promoted to double. Whereas reverse is opposite is not possible here. A double cannot be promoted to far. A float cannot be promoted to long. What we call is that is downcasting. Even char can be promoted to int or long or float or double. These are the possible conversion hierarchies. This is the hierarchy tree. Okay. Yesterday we have seen sufficient examples. I'll just give one more small example and show and close this discussion. Implicit and explicit conversions. We have seen simple examples yesterday. Understood, right? What are those examples? What are those examples here? Yesterday, I have a small example for all of you. Quickly cover to quickly get some idea. Okay. You don't need these many prints to test this code. Okay. Here you take a small example. You declare what do you do? This is an integer. Now I am initializing a decimal value to this, some 10.5. We have seen a small example. Yesterday even the same example we have observed. Okay, we don't need semicolon for Scala language, not necessary. Let us try to print the tail. We have error there itself. The advantage of ID is you don't need to compile and see the error. When you type something in this editor, and if it is syntactically not correct, it will automatically show you the error. So okay, this is the error. Fine, I try to fix it. Now, if you look at this is right side one is double, left side one is integer. As per this hierarchy, can I initialize double to int? Can you see this now? Can I initialize double to int? Possible. Look at it, it's very easy to understand. No, it's not possible to initialize double to int. Yes, sir. Then what can I do then? If it is not possible directly, still I have a choice here. I can go for explicit conversion. What conversion? Explicit means I can also do like this. What is that? I'll do one thing. First of all, let me declare a float variable, some x colon double equal to 10.5. This is float. Now I am trying to convert it to int. I am initializing that to int here. When I initialize directly, we get a compilation error. You can see the error here. Read the error. Type mismatch, found double required. Why it is saying that? Because double is a bigger data type than int here. Now what can I do? I want to convert double to int here. And we cannot automatically convert double to int. Then what is the possible option for us? Then we have to go for explicit conversion. Then we have to use as instance of function. So this x has to be converted to integer. So what is that I should do right now? On that x, on that double, call this function. What is that function? As instance of. Now x has to be converted to integer. Double we should convert it to int. Then in this brackets, you have to specify what is that x has to be converted to int. So just say this here, int here. Then what happens now? This x gets converted to integer. Now you just try to run this code. Now right click, run as a scale application. So now this is fine. But when I convert double to int, you can see I am losing the fraction here. That is why. That is what happens, right? Suppose if a rich girl marries a poor boy, she loses money because father doesn't give, tells her I don't give you money. Then what happens? She has to come and just stay with the boy, right? Same thing here. Understood? Excuse me, yes. So means we lose fraction, guys. Whenever you try to convert double to int, definitely we lose fraction because the nature of integer is it doesn't allow fraction. Okay, that's it. This is what explicit conversion. We are applying a conversion explicitly. That's the point. Suppose you take another example, reverse example. What is that reverse example? You take an integer. Okay, you can directly do it otherwise. And initialize to double. You can see that we are initializing an integer to double. Whatever we initialize is a, what is that integer? It's a different data type, and double is a different one. But still it will agree because we can promote int to double as per the possible conversions. You can see it can be promoted to double, so we don't have an issue on that. Okay, hope this is clear now. Now if I run this print x, of course don't forget to, but this int is promoted to double. Int doesn't have fraction, whereas double has fraction. So what happens here? That 10 becomes 10.5. There is an automatic conversion happening here because we don't have any possible loss of data. As long as there is no possible loss of data, then the conversion is automatically possible. So right click, run as, okay, scale application, and click on OK. Okay, you can see this time the 10 has a fraction now. When it is initialized, it doesn't have a fraction, but later on, okay, it is converted to decimal here. Observe that carefully. Okay, this is what happens. So when you initialize to integer to a double value, okay. Even you can initialize it to float also, not an issue. Right? Anything else? This is about type conversion. All of you are good now? Is it clear for all of you folks? Understood? So that's all about casting. Then let's switch the topic today now. Shall we switch to the next topic? The topic is control statements. We have finished all the what did we finish? We finished all the operators, right? Arithmetic, relational, logical. We have discussed all that yesterday. Now today I'm moving to the control statements. What is that? We are going to talk about this. Actually, all your programming is concentrated here only. See, after this, you might say functions, you might say something else. Okay, classes and objects, object-oriented programming. There is nothing in OOP or in functions or anything. They are just only just a simple containers. That's all. Function is a container, and even class is a container. These are all containers. Again, what is there inside function means the same code, these control statements, the basics which we have discussed so far. The declarations and the control statements. What is there inside a class means variables and functions or methods. What is a method means again method have similar statements here. So point is folks. So all your everything related to the logic or related to the logic implementation, everything is concentrated with your control statements. If you master this control statement, then you can play with any type of code. That's for sure. Okay, now let us see what are this. These are like conditional statements or decision making statements. Decision making or conditional statements. This is one thing. Next one. Then after that, the next one is loops. Then after that, switch. We don't have a direct switch here, but we'll see how we can apply switch in Scala. Okay. Then that these are all the basic control statements what we have in Scala. In this decision making, we have we have to discuss about if else, and the different forms of if and if else. In loops, we have to discuss about while, then do while, and then for. Okay. In switch, we see how to perform a pattern matching. And directly we don't have a switch. Okay, there is no direct switch keyword. Direct switch keyword. Then how do you implement switch means? We'll see that when we come there. I'll talk on that. Clear now? So now, what do you do? Let us just quickly start with the if and if else here. Okay, we'll start with the decision making. I told you right. See, whatever language it may be, I think even you know this. Most of you know this. Your logic implementation is concentrated with this control statements. That's all. If you really can master these control statements, you can be a thorough programmer. I can for sure tell you this. Now let's start with the. And we are discussing from the very scratch. Again, I am telling you, whatever we are discussing means we are learning some C kind of programming with Scala syntax. That's all. If you really learn this all these things in Scala, then you are almost good in C, C++, Java, C Sharp, or even Python also. Because these basics don't change from language to language. Here and there are small slight changes with syntax. So coming back to this if here, what is this decision making? They used to check there. What is that? This decision making or conditional statement check whether a condition is true or not. As name says, we have a condition. They check whether a condition is true or not. So if it is true, something will happen. If it is true, something will happen. If it is false, something will happen. Or nothing will happen. Nothing happens. Okay. Got it right. This is what happens with the decision making statements. It is there. Even it's your decision starts once you wake up in the early morning to you sleep at the night. When you wake up immediately, the first decision is should we attend Scala session or not? That is first decision. If you are too sleepy, the answer is false. If you are fine, then the answer is yes, true. If it is true, something happens means you attend this session. If it is false means you keep sleeping. Okay? Even applicable for me also. Okay, same thing. This is a simple idea about what is that, how decision, what conditional statement does. They check whether a condition is true or false. Okay. And based on that, you get the outcome. Your outcome is decided based on what is if here. If or if else, the point is same. What they does, they check whether a condition is true or false. Okay, they check whether condition is true or false. And if condition is true, what happens? If condition is true, if block is executed. If block is executed, if condition is true. We'll see with the practical example if you are new to the coding. If you are already knowing this, it's fine. Else, what happens? Execute. This is only if, sir. Don't think I am using if else. Else means otherwise. True, if block is executed. If false, nothing happens. Execution of if block is skipped here. What happens? Execution of if block is skipped. Now we'll see that with a small example that is easy to understand. It's something like this. If we have a condition like this, okay, and then braces set, and then inside that statements, you can put a block here. Okay, when you look at this block, inside this we have group of statements here. Inside a block we have what? Group of statements. Now here what happens here is if this condition is true, if this condition is true, observe this, you have to pass condition to it. Because the purpose of if is to check a condition. Suppose I have a small example here. I have A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Of course, this is not the way we declare in scalar, just an idea. So I say where sum A equal to 10, where sum, leave about the data type. If you want, you can suffix it, don't worry about it. If you want, you can declare them as int, that is fine. But the point is, I have variables like this. Now, if I ask you 10 greater than 20, is it true or false? Everybody in the session tell this, it is false. Why? Because we can think about it. We are intelligent. But in program, somebody has to check this condition. And that is what this if statement. Whenever there is a condition, and if you check that, definitely you have to take a, we have to do that with the if statement. So what if does here? It takes condition as an input and check whether it is true or false. Now this is the condition here. It validates this condition. We can say that this if is like a filter. Okay, what it does is it filters all your things by applying a condition. So here, if this is true, this block is executed. If you see the block under that, this block gets executed. If condition is false, then the execution of block is skipped. This block is not executed. Execution in sense, the controller will get into this block and executes the statements inside this block. Okay. What is the block here? Group of statements inside opening and closing braces are here. Okay. Then if you have any other statements after this, you have statements here. Okay, here all other statements are executed after if block. But it is skipped if condition is false, but other statements are executed. This is the behavior of if here. Do you understand this? So we'll see a small example now. What you do is write a program. You do one thing. Try this program now with simple if. This is called simple if. What do we call this, sir? We call this as simple if. Similarly, we have three forms of if. We have simple if, we have multiple if, okay, and then we have nested if. In this way, how many forms of if is there here? We have three different forms of if. Whatever we are discussing right now is a what if here. It is a simple if here. Are you following, guys? What is this here? It is a simple if. Now let us see a small example. Right now, write a program to find greatest of two numbers using simple if. Let's start doing some programs. Write a program to find greatest of two numbers. This is a very basic program. Write yourself. We should declare two variables, okay, and then we should compare them. Then you should display if it is the true. Otherwise, means you should say something. So, which is bigger? Just you need to display some print statement. Write yourself now. Write a program to find greatest of two numbers using simple if. Right. We will slowly increase the complexity and we'll be doing much more bigger programs. Nothing to worry on this part. And we do a lot of practical examples, implementation. I told you, right? We don't just only talk about the concept, but we solve as many problems as possible. Because that is what the industry is expecting now. That is the need of the hour. Take 2 minutes and try, sir. Then I will show you how to do it. Let me see how far you can think of. I will show you. If anybody don't have an idea, I will show you, but you just write. These are all simple programs, folks. I'm trying to some implement it. See this now. To find greatest of two numbers, I told you, right? We can use different types of comments. This is actually now I am using a CPP comment here. That is, I'm just naming it as the greatest of two numbers. Now, if you look at this code, so you need to have an object here, then main inside that, And then you need to declare how many variables here? Two variables. Something like x and y. And then usually integers are recommended here. Of course, you can compare decimals if required. That is not, there is nothing wrong in that. Now I have x and y here. Now I want to find greatest of these two numbers. Okay. Then how do I do that? I should apply a condition. I should check a condition. For that, definitely, whenever the word condition comes, you have to you should remember if construct. Okay. So here I should say if x greater than y, then what should I tell you? Println of we can just say that x plus is bigger. You can directly say x is big like this, double quotes x is big. But you know, this is in the latest version, this concatenation is not supported. Now you have to concatenate if x is big, if it is true. If this condition is true, means x is bigger. Then you come inside to this block only if x is bigger, right? So what do you say? Just print x is big plus concatenate your x with that. If you don't concatenate, nothing happens. It's up to you. It is your wish whether to concatenate or not to. Now concatenate x with that. What this concatenation operator will do? It will combine this x with this string here. Means if you want to combine a string with a number, then you have to use concatenation here. And plus acts as a, what is that here? It acts as concatenation. Means combines your all your output values. Now what do you do right now? This is not necessary here. If you want, you can add some other statements. I just say something like this, the end or something, just to make you understand the very basic program. Now what happens here? It will come to this if, check the condition. If it is true, this block is executed. If it is false, the execution of block is skipped and move to the statement after if here. These other statements are executed always, but something inside this if block is executed only if condition is true. Okay, let me right click on this and then just say run as a scale application. Now you can say x is bigger and the value of x is how much? I'm giving some space here. You can also run as what? A scale application. Understood? Suppose I give 60 here. The condition is false. Then if condition is false, the block itself is not executed. You don't get anything from this if block. So right click, then just say run as scale application. Now you can see the statement after if is executed, but the statement inside if is not executed. Why? Because simple reason. What is it? If block is executed only if condition is true. By now, everybody should have a clean idea on this, right? Yes or no? See, the basics are same, sir. It doesn't change from language to language. What changes is there are certain fundamental differences that we have to observe carefully. The logic part is almost same for everything. So that's about simple if, sir. So you do some more programs here. You try these programs from your side. Write a program to check here. See one more thing. In a simple if, you get output only if condition is true. If condition is false, you don't get anything, sir. Okay. Then you don't try to get some other even output when condition is false. That will see with if else or multiple if. But with a simple if, you can just only check if it is true or not. That's all. If it is false, there is no other thing. We cannot do anything. There is nothing to do from our side. Okay. We can write. We can give an alternative check by using multiple if or if else. But with simple if, what is the point? We don't have any choice just to check whether it is true or not. So next program, write a program to check whether a number is even or not. To check whether a number is even or not. Okay, try this now. You can only check whether it is even or not, or whether it is odd or not. You can check any one of the cases. You cannot check both the cases with simple if. It's not possible. Okay, try this, sir. Those who want to become a serious big data developers, you people seriously need Scala. Okay. Many people don't know how much Scala is useful or the importance of Scala. Even the Scala is most happening language nowadays in data analytics. Okay. And we don't have enough community on Scala so far. Like Java, we don't have so many people on Scala. So much of data is not available Scala. So that's why. Okay, and you have limited trainers even on Scala. So the point is, try to learn as much as possible. It is going to help you a lot. So what do you do, right? Even or not means something which you should remember is we should divide it with 2 and we should check for remainder. Don't check for quotient here. Remainder means you should use percentile symbol. Okay, you have learned that what is an even number in school days itself, in the first class or second standard. If a number is divisible by 2 and remainder equal to 0, the definition itself has the complete, the condition. How to prepare your condition is clearly mentioned in the definition. So based on that, you can prepare your condition and check it. Right. I hope you have enough time here. Let me just show you. So how to find whether a number is even or not. You don't need 2 inputs for an even number. One is enough. I just took x as my input. Now what I'm saying is I am just checking whether it is even or not. What should I do now? I have to divide x with 2. But this is not enough. I should compare that result with 0. If a number is divisible by 2 and remainder equals to 0, that is definition, sir. That is not my statement. Some mathematician told that. So, okay, this is how you have to prepare a condition for even. Okay, you should apply percentile here. Got it right. Then what happens? X is even here. Then print x. That's all. The simple if can check only if it is true or not. We cannot check if it is false. Okay, we'll come back to that point again quickly. Soon we talk about multiple if and then we'll talk about if else. Okay. Save this, right click, run as scale application. Can you see this now? I should change this, right? Is there anything I should change here? Yes, here there is nothing. X is even and the end. Suppose you give 11, sir. So what is it? Even or odd? It is odd. Obviously, when I divide by 2, my remainder is 1. 1 equal to 0 is false. Then what happens? The block is not executed. Then when I execute this, I don't get anything from if block. If you see run as scale application, nothing come from if block. This is something which is after if block. Okay, that's it. Sometimes I see Students will write after if again x is odd. Okay, after if block. See that x is odd will work only when the condition fail here. If condition is true, then you get x is even and x is odd, which is not, which doesn't make any sense there. Got it right? So that's about this one. This is about how to check whether a number is even or not. Now another program. Write a program. This is how it goes, sir. Our classes are more of practical and more implementation based sessions. So what I suggest is be, you should have a little patience, because that is what we have to do if you are learning programming. It's not just concept. Write a program to check whether a number is leap or not. First, understanding minimum basics is important. Number is leap or not. Leap year comes for every 4 years, and based on that, you just write a simple leap concept. You don't need to write everything. You don't need to check all the different cases of leap. Just see that it comes for every 4 years. Based on that, just decide. Okay. And you can keep your answers in the chat box. Okay. You can post it in chat box. I can also see your answers. Implement it, sir. And tell me what is the output. It's a simple program. Just see this now. Here, take an year. Okay, to 2020. You can give any variable name is fine. X is also fine. If x percentile 4 equal to 0. Just a simple check here. I'm not going for many checks. Then x is leap. Okay, we are done. And you don't need this. I'm just only show you. You can have statements after if. Okay. Now what do you write now? 2020. Is it leap or non-leap? I love to know that. How many days we have? It's a leap year. Okay. Our February has 29 days. But it doesn't check that. We are just saying that we are not validating February here. But what is that? We are validating here. It comes for every 4 years. So we are dividing with 4 and seeing whether it is remainder is 0 or not. Okay. So if you see, you get some result if condition is true, otherwise nothing will come. Okay. But you can have statements after if there is nothing wrong in that. Other statements other than the something related to your if here. This is a simple idea about simple if, some basic programs. Now let us just talk about multiple if. So what is it? Something more than one if is the multiple if. Two if blocks, three if blocks, four if blocks, n if blocks, 10 if, 20 if, 100 if. That is what we call multiple if. But we don't write 100 ifs in one go. If that is the case, then we will use some looping. Okay. So multiple if is same. If concept of if is same anyway, sir, it doesn't change. If condition and block will be there. But only change is the different ways how we can apply this if. That is the only change. So you can see here it goes like this. Okay. If what is that? Condition 1. If what is that? Condition 2. It goes like this. It keeps going. So what is this now? Means we can check, we can test multiple conditions here. Like if we can test only one condition. But if it is multiple if, we can check multiple conditions. So multiple if in a way can be used for more condition tests. Okay. Now the same programs will do one thing. Whatever we tried with this simple if, let's try with them with the multiple. Now greatest of two numbers with the multiple if. This time you can check both conditions, whether it is A is big or B is big. This time you can see both cases. You can check both. You try remaining three with multiple if. No, try it now. Come on. And still we are in simple if only. Yeah, it's correct. Using else is also fine. We'll come to else part. First, let's understand how if behave. Then we'll switch to if else. Okay. Those who are already having some idea, it's fine, sir. There's nothing wrong in that. Knowledge is divine. How much ever you is that? No, it's better. In one movie, I think Brahmanandam tells that, right? In a Telugu movie, I'm saying. Excuse me. Sir, I'll do one thing. I'll just quickly solve these three problems. These are all simple things. Okay, now let's see this now. So take two numbers first for greatest of two numbers. For leap, you can just put what is that? I'm directly checking leap first. You can just remove this. So here, if x percentile 4 equal to 0, it is a leap. Else what? Not equal to 0. What is it? X is not leap. Or x for percentile 4 equal to 1 also. You can also say equal to 1 or not equal to 0. That is also fine. X is not leap. So I give to 2020 it's leap, no doubt about that. And then I give 2021, that is not leap. Okay, fine, right? So this is simple idea. You can implement multiple conditions like this. And what is the execution flow here? Here, in a multiple if, every condition is verified here. Every condition is validated. Every condition is checked here. If it is true or false, it will check this. If it is true, execute this block. Come to this if. It will check this condition. If it is true, execute this block. But in this case, any one if will be true, not both ifs. But even if it is, what is that? True or false, condition check will happen in every if block. Okay. In each if, a condition check happens and then block is executed only if it is true, otherwise it is skipped. That's what the behavior is. Okay. Now let us just try for greatest of two numbers. You take x is 10 and then y is 20. Okay. Then what is that? X greater than y. X is big, isn't it? Otherwise, y greater than x. Y is big. Okay. So what do you do right now? Just right click on this, say run as scalar. 10 greater than 20, 10 false. So this is greatest of two numbers, not equality. If it is equality, then you have to say equals. Don't apply that. Okay. You can also check for equality if you want. If x equal to y, then it is both are same. That you can also write that. Okay. So what do you do right now? Give some value here, some 5. Just right click and say run as scale application. It is saying x is big. Give 50. Right click, run as scale application. It's saying y is big. Can you see that now? So we can check for both possibilities if you are using multiple if. Okay. Next one. Even or not. What do you do? Even or not. Just one number is enough. The other one you can comment. You don't need to delete it. If x percentile equal to 0, x is even. Okay. Otherwise, if x percentile 2 not equal to 0, then we can say x is odd. Okay, print x. Now what is that? X is 10. You know, first condition is true, then we get that x is even. The second is false, so we don't get anything. But here every condition is validated. Every condition is validated. Following, right? Suppose if I give this as 11, 11 is odd. So the first condition is false, then this if block is skipped. Again, it will come to this if. And the second condition is true because when you divide 11 by 2, the remainder is 1, sir. It's not 0. So this is true. It's not equal to 0. Then you can right click and say run as what? Scale application. So x is odd here. Understood? Is it clear to all of you, sir? Right. So in the next class tomorrow, I'll continue with loops actually because we need just some. This is the fundamental. When you understand this properly, if else doesn't take much time. It will take some 10 to 15 minutes for more programs. Okay. So we'll do one more last program today. Then we will switch off this session. But tomorrow we will finish this part and then switch to loops actually, how loops work in Scala. Okay. And there is a strong difference with the for loop. Okay. But remaining while and do while, it's almost similar to your C programming, C++ and Java or C sharp. But here and there will be small syntax changes. That's all. Otherwise, almost all same in all languages. Okay. So we can see that tomorrow there are so many logics to implement for us. We keep implementing logics. Okay, that is what the focus is, right? So you do last program for today. Write a program to find with multiple if only. Use multiple if. Greatest of three numbers. What is that? Program to find greatest of how many numbers? Greatest of three numbers. Try this, sir. What error you are getting, Suresh? Can I see your program? Can you share your screen? I'll do one thing. I will make you the organizer. Then you can share my screen. Your screen, sorry. You can share your screen. So I'm making you the presenter. Now show me your screen. So what it is saying? Yeah, you get an error because how did you save it as? Okay, execute it. Fine, 1 minute, just a minute. Object even, that is fine. Definition is fine. So both your object name, your file name is same, right? Even.scala only. Mhm.
Yes, sir. Both are same.
If it is
But whenever
same,
I'm writing the program, I'm getting this program only when I am executing.
okay, I understand the problem.
Is any
This
configuration problem of the application
this is
or?
this is issue when you created the this thing. You do one thing. Can you create a new project quickly? Create one more project. Go to file. Yeah, there. No, use that default JRE.
Oh, sorry.
If you can delete it, not an issue. Or otherwise, create one more. You can check it later. Okay.
Use
Choose.
default JRE. Okay.
Yeah. Choose default JRE. I use that. Okay,
And finish.
and finish. Yes. Now you expand it and on source create one file. You can copy and paste, no problem. On that source, create a new Scala object. Right click, new Scala object. Okay, and just give it as a event whatever it is. Now you have to follow naming standards here, but anyhow, I'll tell you how to do that. Now you can paste your code here. Paste it. Save it. You got it right.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Fine. So clear, right, guys? Again, I am sharing my screen back. Now you can see this, right? So got it right. You can try greatest of three numbers now. Come on, guys. All of you. See, one thing when you are writing code is you have to follow naming standards, guys. If you look at this code, the O is capital in my starting letter. If you see here, generally in Scala, in Java, in C Sharp, we have to follow certain naming standards. What is that? When it is an object or a class. So in both the cases, no, every word starting letter has to be uppercase. You have to use this. No, every word starting should be uppercase. Okay, following right. This is very important. When you name any class, don't forget this naming standard. Suppose I say some test, it should be capital. Suppose my class name is test data, something like this. T and D has to be, don't use spaces. T and D has to be capital. So follow these naming standards when you are naming a class, okay, or an object as well as. Okay. Right. Next one. Let me just solve this. Most of you have solved it, I know. Greatest of three numbers. How many numbers I need here? How many variables I need? I need three variables, X, Y, and Z. You can also input from keyboard by using an input function. We'll see that in the later sessions. Okay. X, Y, Z. Now what you have to do? This one you can give some other number as well. The condition check has to happen like this. When you have three numbers X, Y, Z, okay, you have to compare A with B and A with C. Sorry, X with Y and X with Z. Okay, what is that you should do? You should compare X with the Y and X with the Z. That's how you should do the comparison. Okay. So what do you do right now? And similarly, you have to do the same for Y also. Similarly, you have to do the same for Z also. Following, right? You have to do it for all the three variables. You should compare X with Y, X with Z, Y with X and Y with Z, Z with X and Z with Y. Okay. If X greater than Y and X greater than Z. So what is that? X is big. And if Y greater than X and Y greater than Z, then Y is big. Okay, and last block, one more if block is required here. What is that? If Z greater than X and Z greater than Y, then what is that? Z is big. And print Z here. Print X, print Y, and print Z. Okay. So here that's it. That's it. Idea about this one. So what do you do right now? Right click. So now when you run it, you can see 50 is larger, so it is showing Y is Y and yes, correct. Y is bigger. So it's showing Y is big. Suppose you give 120 here for Z. Right click, run a Scala application, see that. You get Z is big here. And then if you give something like like 150, then you should get A is bigger. Sorry, I usually use the ABC, that's why I'm saying AB, but X is bigger. I got it right? So whenever you do a condition check, you have to validate all the different possibilities. That is important. Clear, right? Single and also be fine, right? I didn't understand, Madhu. What is this? Madhu? No, no, no. For AND operation, we have to use double ampersand. Single ampersand means that is for bitwise. It will perform bitwise AND. You don't get expected output in all the cases. We must and should use double ampersand for AND operation on conditions. Single ampersand is applicable on bitwise operators. Okay, that's it, guys. Actually, I wish to do more programs, solve more problems, but you have office and I do have office. We have to get ready. Okay, so please share with your friends. If possible, pull some of the people who has real interest. Those who don't have that, we don't need to pull them, because someone who is dedicated is what we need here. Okay, so any more questions? Keep doing. I told you, right? It's more of programming sessions only, more of practical. You have to keep implementing. Every day at least we will be solving some at least 5 to 10 problems every day, and that's how this whole program goes. Okay? It's more of problems and solution based learning, and solutions should be done by you only, not me. Okay? Mostly first you should solve it, then I will provide the solution. I will check back and see if we need to make any corrections, correct it, and again execute for one more time. That's how you have to do it, right? Thank you, guys. I will upload all these sessions in the YouTube and update in the group, actually, our WhatsApp group, so that it's easy for you, to go and check it. Thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow.